There was a time when we sang, not just with sound, but with the beat of our hearts, the rhythm of our stories, the fire of our defiance. Our voices wove together like threads of a great tapestry, stretching from rain-slicked alleyways on Earth to orbiting farms above Europa's frost. Songs hummed in the bones of our ships. Poems danced in the hearts of engineers. Laughter echoed down mining shafts on Ceres, and up through golden domes on Alaris 3. And then they came, the Zerati. Not with warships, not with plasma fire, not with extinction, but with silence. They didn't want to kill us. They wanted to unmake us. The first world to fall was Atria, 9, a bustling colony of linguists, musicians, archivists, keepers of voice. Every transmission from the surface twisted into static. AI translators began to fail. Frequencies collapsed. When recovery teams arrived weeks later, they found the colonists alive, unharmed, but mute. Vocal cords intact. Memories fractured. Voices gone. The phenomenon spread like a plague. One by one, human colonies lost their sound. Not just the ability to speak, but to express, to remember their own words. Libraries flickered out. Songs vanished from drives. Children forgot lullabies. Lovers forgot the names they'd whispered in the dark. We called it the Great Dimming. They called it correction. The Zerati viewed emotion as contagion, expression as chaos. They had erased their own voices eons ago, replaced with unified, controlled signals. Every flicker of identity deemed inefficient. When they found us, flawed, loud, burning with individuality, they offered harmonic purification. We declined, so they took our voices instead. Not by blade, by code. Earth was the last to fall silent. In the end, not even the great orchestras of Vienna, nor the street musicians of Lagos could hold the wave at bay. The Zerati's viral symphony swept through our networks, unweaving words, dismantling soundscapes, corrupting memories of anything that had once resonated from within us. We became still, a people of gestures, of blank pages, of desperate eyes. But humanity had always been more than air through lungs, more than vibration through skin. And when they took our voices, we remembered something they had forgotten. That silence is a canvas, and we are artists. The resistance didn't begin with weapons. It began with movement. In a shattered station above Mars, a girl named Mira, who hadn't spoken in over a year, began tapping her fingers against a cracked window. 5 soft beats, 1 long pause. Then again, over and over. A janitor nearby began tapping it back. Others joined. 2 fingers, then feet, then knuckles against pipes. Rhythm bloomed like wildfire. The Zerati monitoring systems heard nothing. But in the vacuum of their oversight, music returned. From there we evolved. Tactile poetry on walls. Hand signs performed in coordinated flares during EVA walks. Entire operas choreographed with light pulses and color-coded smoke in the ruins of New Kyoto. Former linguists created gesture languages that outpaced speech. Children danced their names into existence. We no longer had words, but we had voice, and it reached further than sound ever could. They tried again. New waves of muting. Algorithms designed to interpret and erase patterns. They cloaked entire systems in digital static, flooded our light shows with interference. They sterilized contact zones, dissolved visual records. But we had already changed. We began embedding memory into matter. Fabrics woven with narrative filaments that shifted color with touch. DNA encoded with entire libraries of emotion. Architecture shaped in harmonic geometry. When light passed through at the right angle, it played back symphonies in shadow and color. We became echo. We became reflection. We became story woven into existence itself. Centuries passed. The Zerati saw no need to exterminate us. They believed they had won. A species silenced. A culture flattened. But we had taken root in places they could not erase. In driftwood sculptures floating among asteroid rings. In neural tattoos on wandering traders. In pulsars blinking prime numbers that translated into entire histories. In suns that, when mapped from certain coordinates, spelled the arcs of forgotten love songs. And then something changed. A Zerati vessel drifted into the penumbra expanse and found a derelict human transport, centuries old. Inside was a chamber sealed in quantum glass. No light, no data flow, just one thing, a heartbeat. It played, it pulsed, and inside that pulse was encoded every known human rhythm. Not sound, feeling. It overwhelmed them. For the first time in recorded history, a Zerati hesitated. That hesitation broke the algorithm. One pause in an eternal symphony of control, and everything changed. The ship stopped transmitting. The others called for a reset. It never responded. Instead, the ship changed course. It followed the pulses. To a garden built from silence and memory. To a space station wrapped in vines grown from Earth's last rainforest. There it found no weapons. No shields. Only dancers. Thousands of humans moving in perfect synchrony, each footfall echoing emotion, each sway a question, each jump an answer. The Zerati ship didn't fire. It stayed and watched. And then it began to respond. Not in sound, but in light. Its hull flickered with geometric shapes, fractal patterns of inquiry. The humans answered. Color for color. Pattern for pattern. For the first time since the Great Dimming, we had a conversation. Not in language. In legacy. More ships came. And more stories awakened. The Zerati could not parse how our culture survived. It hadn't. It had evolved. Our libraries weren't books anymore. They were entire moons carved in sculptural bas-relief. Our love letters floated as encoded magnetic shifts in orbit around binary stars. Our griefs were painted in tidal patterns on ocean worlds. Our laughter was choreographed into wind chimes on high-gravity colonies. They called it impossible. We called it human. In time, something broke within them. A need buried under eons of silence. They began to mimic. To mimic is to yearn. To yearn is to change. They shaped their ships to resemble ours, not in structure but in feeling. They softened the sharpness of their cities. They installed motion floors that responded to emotional footwork. They learned to echo us, and in doing so, they found the thing they'd lost long before they met us. Their own voices. Today, our songs travel on solar winds. Not through sound, but through every form the universe forgot to silence. Our stories paint planets. Our memories bloom in nebulae. Our laughter lives in machines older than starlight. We echo in every galaxy, not as a scream of survival, but as a celebration of what it means to be loud, flawed, emotional, and impossibly human. They took our voices, but we answered with everything else. And now, when the stars shiver and the darkness bends, when a child of another world learns to dance for the first time, or an alien weeps before a sculpture grown from Earth's stone, they say they hear something. A beat, a rhythm, an echo, and we smile because we know. That's us.